going every Thursday, every first and third Thursday of the month at 7 a.m. And so we're talking about everything video. And the two of us are scrambling today to get rolling because everything's flipping crazy during COVID, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to talk about the first crazy thing first, right?
About as crazy as me growing a mustache. That's about and I don't know why.
I mean, why bother doing all that? All that.
Yeah. Well, my wife hates it, but
So you're not ever wanting to get kissed again, basically. Oh, so today we're talking about where to start with video making. Not everybody is, and I'm just open up my little checklist here so I make sure we hit all the topics. That not everybody is used to picking up their phone and using it. Like you and I and several other kind of influencer type people are always doing stuff like this, but not everybody, right?
Well, yeah, I think it's one thing that we talked about. There's a couple things. If you have like a small business, you're doing multiple things. You're wearing multiple hats. That's the life of a solopreneur, right? Like, so,
yeah.
And sometimes when it comes to video content creation and your marketing plan, it doesn't even have to, it's not even just solely on video. It could be anything that you're trying to create to promote and market your business or your brand. I mean, it doesn't start with picking up the camera. It actually starts, and it's not sexy to talk about this, but it's something that needs to be discussed if we're going to build off of this topic and get into more of the sexier, topics around video marketing and content and creating those aspects. And that's just setting yourself up for maximum efficiency. And
and one of the things we're going to do is at the end of every episode, we're going to give a tool and an app that can help you to do those things. So if you listen through to the end of the episode, or if you listen on replay, you just scroll to the end, I guess. We're going to give a tool and an app every week that kind of helps people to stay on track. Yeah. Now, as you were talking, I was doing a little live video for my personal page.
Yeah.
So I usually do that in advance of when we get on, but I'm going to do it right now and invite people over. Okay.
Do it.
Okay. So what I did, everybody, we were talking about like, hey, this is the first time you did it. What I did was I just went ahead and put in, hey, Scott Warren, we're talking video on Relentless Talk Radio. Okay. Now here's the thing. They made a change the way you create live video on your personal profile. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
They so now you actually have to click the little live button, which is right here on your phone.
Oh yeah, okay.
First, and then put in your stuff. And I keep on forgetting to do that. So
they're always tweaking that.
Let's talk about creating duplication where possible.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's, again, this is getting into the non-sexy aspects of creating video to help promote your business, right? The thing is you want to set yourself up on a system. And every professional house, production house, post-production house, they have systems in place to maximize efficiency, because video can be a very time-consuming task. When even the most simplest form, it can be pretty time consuming and things add up. And so what you do is, and you learn this very early on, if you want to go into this as a career, is, you have systems in place, create efficiencies upon efficiencies as much as possible, shortcuts, hotkeys, templates, whatever you need to do to save yourself time, or else you're going to get stuck in the weeds off of a thing that you could easily automate or duplicate that would take you 5 minutes. If you don't do that, you're looking at 15, 20, 30 minutes or more, depending, and you're just stuck in this rabbit hole, this black hole of time wasting activities. So first and foremost, you want to get yourself set up, and not only just for time saving, just for pure organization, because you never know when you're gonna have to go back into that particular project. and dip into something, or maybe pull some assets from a particular project to use on another project you may have. Well, you want to be able to find that stuff. And this is where a lot of people that I have seen, whether they're, a business or doing their own thing, or even, surprisingly, I've even seen some other pros, quote unquote pros,
that don't have systems and
short.
in place.
Yeah.
Create the wheel every time. So I'm going to share, while I'm doing this video, it's actually kind of good that I waited. I went ahead and put in a blurb here. And it says, hey, come join us, Scott, Lauren, and I. We're talking video on today's video lab, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm copying that, and I'm going to paste it to my notes on my computer. So in my notes, I have a bunch of files that say Relentless.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, I'm gonna make sure I get this the right way. Relentless with different files, right?
Yeah.
So here I've got copy. See, this is RTR copy.
Yep.
I'm gonna go in there, and I'm gonna push this little button here and create a free note. Oops. And then I'm gonna just paste that in there.
There you go.
So now every day, and there's a little typo in it, I'll fix it later, but just for the nature of time. Every day when I go in, now when I'm doing my live video, all I have to do is post that. I don't have to just take the time that I took to write that out, right? So I'm just gonna go here and say start video. Hey guys, Scott, Lauren, and I are over at Relentless Talk Radio right now, and we're talking everything video, and we're talking about creating video, even maybe for the first time, and creating process around how you're creating your video. So get out of here, and then you can come on over to Relentless Talk Radio, and there's Scott. Say hi, Scott.
Hola, good morning.
Hola. And we're going to be talking about how to create video, even if you haven't done it before. So sign out of here, my personal profile, and go over to Relentless Talk Radio and join us for a little video lab. All right, guys, see you later. Take care.
Boom.
So that's not like rocket science, right? You can just pick up your camera and create a little process around creating a live video and then share it.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, the phones have become so powerful as camera tools. I mean, like, they're literally shooting series on iPhones nowadays. I mean, you're shooting 4K at 60 frames a second. I mean, these phones have become so incredibly powerful, not to mention the abundance of third-party accessories to produce a higher, give you more production value and more professionalism in how you're shooting, and like stabilizers. And then you can buy like extra little lens attachments to it, if you really want to get hardcore about it. So, I mean, utilize the tools that you have. It doesn't matter. Like, you want to be able to just use what you have, use them to your advantage, get your message out there. These are just tools, right? So use them, and I think most people don't use them enough. So
you can't break them. You just keep on playing. I mean, I think that the aspect of play, when you're a kid and you got a new toy, you just played with it until you figured out how the Legos worked.
Yeah.
Treat your phone like a Lego set.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm such a gear nerd for, video stuff. So like I geek out over it. So, I get stuff. Most of the time I don't even read the instruction manuals. I want to open it up, start using it and figuring it out along. That's just how I am. And then I'll go back to the manual and kind of like
when you can't figure out how something works, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the key is, again, the key though is you don't want to just jump into that, because there is some more mundane details that the topic of this show is about on before you even get to the point where you're picking up your phone and you're shooting something for your business or brand. I mean, it's about setting yourself up.
Start with a play and just doing a couple live videos, and just don't take yourself too seriously, and just start chatting about your cat, and just start playing with the things. But then once you start to get an idea from the beginning, and you and I have this in common, and I love working with you because we have a Trello project management software that we have set up, and we're beginning with the end in mind. And so for us, the end in mind is potentially having a subscription model down the road. We want to bring more videographers in, bring more social marketers in. So we're creating everything we're doing ready to delegate it. So we can just have a template, and we can give someone a password to get into this one area and say, I want you to do whatever activity, because we have it set up in a project management software. We have it set up in the way we run our tools, whether whether we're using Adobe Premiere or iMovie or any other app that we're using, and YouTube, what type of systems we're setting up inside of Premiere, so that everything we're doing is duplicatable and it becomes a habit. I was joking with my friend Alyssa last week about the question was this week actually on Relentless Talk Radio during the Relentless Women's Mastermind. What is something that you're doing to give yourself peace? And for me, it's setting up rock solid systems.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's making breakfast for Doc in the morning, I have like the bagels come out, the pan goes on the table, that everything goes like check, check, check. So I literally don't have to think about making breakfast. I'm thinking about what you and I are doing while I'm making his breakfast, because his breakfast is completely systemized and he's outdoor, So the more systems you can create in your life and in your business, the more you're able to delegate.
Here's a big thing.
You can have a team or several teams working on your project, right?
Yeah. Well, and here's the big thing is you, and this is something that I've taken from my career work, working in television post, is and something that was always taught to me very early on in my career is you do not want your creative people thinking about, where's this file at? What, how should I be organizing this? Whether you pay good money to creative editors to come in and be creative and create. So the more time you have them having downtime because the system's down, they can't find a file. They don't know where on the media server to find the certain set of media that they need to use.
And if you're a solopreneur, the more you aggravate yourself, right?
Yeah. You're pulling away.
I think of myself as my own team, because I do most everything myself at this point, right?
Yeah.
So if first I have to create systems that make sense to me.
Exactly.
So that, I have a story, I know how I'm going to say it, I know where my files are, I know what I'm saying, I know what the copy is that's being posted on Facebook and all my other platforms, I know what tools I'm using, and I have a system that I created for myself. Once you have the system created for yourself, when you start for a small business owner, they're going to start maybe hiring their cousin's kid to start posting for them, or they're maybe going to hire a virtual assistant. Or they're going to say, you know what, I think I'm going to bring somebody on for 10 hours a week, and I'm going to hire an admin. I'm going to get somebody off of Craigslist, or I'm going to go to Upwork, and I want them to. Upwork is a great tool, by the way. We'll talk about that some other day. But I'm going to hand off this part of things. But the first thing you have to do is to create a system for yourself that works, so that you can hand it off. And then when you're ready to do really big video, you can work with Scotty or any other video producer that you want, and you've already got a system set up that's going to save you money in the long run, right? Don't you love it when you get a client that has their stuff together before you work with them?
It's amazing when that happens, and it
happens rarely, doesn't it?
It doesn't happen all that often, but that's why they hire a person like me, is because I can help them. It's an education process for both parties. It's a two-way street, and that's how I always look at my relationships with clients. It's a two-way street. I help them understand the process and what it takes for me to produce something for them, and then I also educate them along the way, and I learn more about their business and kind of how they work, and I adapt and modify. Listen, I'm about 12 years in on this in my career in this industry. And I still tweak, and I still modify my workflow. And that's, that you'll hear that word a lot, workflow, in this type of business. I'm always modifying that, I pick and pull what I've liked, since I've worked with so many post houses and production companies over the 12 years. I pick and pull what I like, and I've created for my stuff. I've created my own workflow system that I use, and I'm modifying that.
You're constantly optimizing, where you constantly.
Oh, absolutely.
And as you're creating video, and the first thing you're doing is you're just going to play. You're just going to start posting some little crazy live videos. You're going to start using some of the tools that Scott and I are talking about. You're just going to start picking up your phone and hit video and play, right? And then as you start to play more, you'll be able to start to create systems around what your story is and how you're going to post it. And so the more you do that, you go, oh, okay, this works and that doesn't work, and this works and that doesn't work. So optimizing is constantly something that that we're talking about. So let's give people an idea of what optimizing a file looks like.
Okay. So you want me to go first and
yeah, and then we'll share a little bit about what I do when I'm loading my YouTubes.
Okay, cool. So this is, let me just set this up a little bit. So what I've done is I have a client and I have a new project coming in, and I've created a project folder template for my computer. And this is where I organize all my media, all my exports, my client reviews, and that sort of thing. I've organized everything into this. So all I have to do is copy and paste this folder template and then update it with the project name, the client name, et cetera, et cetera. And so let me share my screen here. Let me find. Okay. So can we see this this Finder screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, cool. Now, so this is what it is. This is a project template. I copy and pasted it to my desktop so we can view. And so here I just update it with
tiny. I'm gonna get if I hide me, I'm gonna hide me, and you're gonna be talking, because when I can't talk and have them hear me at the same time, so we can make this bigger. Okay.
Okay, cool. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Obviously, I use Premiere Pro quite a bit. So I've created even a Premiere Pro project template within that, and I've organized things into 3 basic folders, and then from there it branches out into trees from there. You know, this is where I put my audio, my music, my sound effects, VO if it's necessary, docs like my scripts, client notes that come through, documents, any storyboards, anything related to that. Since I do a lot of broadcast work, like commercials and stuff, I have a separate folder for finishing. It's a little bit of different process than it is for typical social media. But I use those items will go there. Graphics will all go in this. You know, it's about, so what, if it ever comes to a point where I have to hand this project off, maybe I have to subcontract another freelancer to take something over for me. I've set this up basically where if I have to bring in help, I can hand a project off to someone with no added information if that ever happens, and they can easily navigate and figure things out and where things are just by stepping through some of these folders. This has been tested and proven that I can basically, I never have any communication to help people set them up if I have to hand a project off. But in the event that I want to hand something off and I can't take the time to explain where everything is at, this should be able to guide someone that's taking it on. They should be able to guide them and they can figure it out, right? And then obviously here's my media. Like if I have a video shoot, this is where that day's shoots go. And if it's multiple days, I just put each day in a dated folder within that. So that's kind of like on the computer side, the structure side. Now you're going to see some similarities. Let me jump over to my a sample Premiere Pro project real quick. So let me close that out, remove. And then, so here is an example of a Premiere Pro project that I've done of a video I did for Heights, my apparel brand. And so as you can see in the project window, it's very, there's certain aspects that are going to be similar that mirror what you see on the computer side of where you're storing your media and your project. And so as you can see, I have my VO, my graphics, my music, stills, there's like a junk bin, media, B-roll, my story. And then obviously this is a sequences folder. This is where you're doing all your editing work in the project. And so that has a separate folder for itself. And so again, it's about efficiency. This is a template that I created. I just duplicated it. All these folders are already in there, so I'm not recreating these. And then basically I can just go. I can start editing, start reviewing media, start putting stuff down on the timeline. And then most importantly, if I have to hand this project off to someone, they're going to be able to easily figure out what's going on, where I'm at, and what I left off with without a lot of added explanation from me. So that's what it's about. It's just, and these are all things that I set up in the front end, and I just copy and paste.
So as I'm thinking from a new video person's standpoint, they're watching you flip through all those files and they're going, oh my gosh. However, okay, now here's the deal about you decided you're going to get into video and you're thinking down the road, I want to do more complicated videos. It's really good to see just briefly that what video applications are, and Adobe Premiere is an Adobe application. It's part of the Creative Suite.
Yeah.
Basically, how Adobe Premiere works is that there's files and timelines, and you put all of your data, whether it's your video or your copy or your music or any kind of graphic that you have, into a file, and those files are then put into timelines. So when you're watching a movie on the television, you're going to see a picture of Sean Conroy running down a hallway, and then a picture of the pretty girl that's supposed to be getting something ready for the next diabolical thing they're doing together, putting her lipstick on. And then it's Sean Connery getting in a car. Mm-hmm. And then it's the girl, putting her gun in her, garter belt under her skirt, right?
Right.
So each one of those little blips is a file within some type of video application, okay? And the timeline is the length of time you see Sean in the car, and then the length of time you see the girl putting her gun into her garter belt, right? And each one of those timelines are put on a continuum.
Yes.
So when you're just starting to create video and you're thinking down the road, you know what, I do want to hire someone like Scotty to collect all these videos and do an evergreen video, right? And you and I are working on something like that right now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. So as I've been creating my videos moving along, I'm thinking I'm eventually going to find a video production person that's going to want to work with me. Right. And I want to have all of these files organized. I can give those files to the video person, and they can organize it within Adobe Premiere in a way that makes sense for me, right? Yeah. So I started as a new video person thinking, I want to repurpose these videos later. So as you start to create video, don't just create them, leave them on your phone and have them get lost, okay? Create a file on your phone at the very least that's favorite videos, okay? So if you're creating videos in your space, I'm looking at my phone again, and I'm on an iPhone. If you're on a different type of device, you're gonna be able to do that. When I'm in my photo section, okay, I have different albums set up. Yeah. For all different kinds of things, okay? Yeah. And each of these albums, I'm saving as collateral items. So for example, this is the pictures that I have for my Isabody challenge, when I did my Isabody challenge for Isogenics. I'm saving all the pictures and all the videos that I've done for the Isabody challenge in here, so that later on, I can do an Isabody challenge short evergreen video that shows my progress over several Isabody challenges, right? So the Isabody challenge is with one of my partners, Isogenics, right? So here's another, the video lab. I have some pictures of Scotty and his children, right, that I put in there. But I can also put videos in there, right? Yeah. So I have taken and already created on my phone in advance, okay, I want to remember where these videos are. Now I'm going to share it with my screen with folks so they can see kind of how I work. While we're doing that, I'm going to just open up some. All right, let's see. Let me open up my.
And it's like, here's the thing. It's like, if you're running your own business, you have your business documents organized. Right. You have
theoretically.
You should, if you should be, right? You should know, like, if you have to supply a lender with your EIN number, you have that, where that document's at. It's probably in a folder with a bunch of other documents that were related to the formation of your company, some admin type stuff that's related to the business formation. And this is really not that much different. It's dealing with marketing and video specifically, but it's the same concepts. Like, you want these things organized so you can reference them.
Actually go find them. Scott, you'd be amazed. So one of my other hats, other than my Arizona Diamondback hat that I wear, is as a business consultant and coach. I'm always amazed, and even as a financial advisor, I'm always amazed at how people you and I are geeks.
Yes.
We are. We're organization junkies, right? Because of how we work as creatives, we have to learn how to be organized. A lot of business owners just throw everything into a pile on their desk and a pile in their life, and they just dig and they waste a ton of time. And that's why it's always good to have a business coach come in and help you to organize your life in a way that makes sense, or have a consultant come in and like take a look at all your files. Maybe you have been shooting videos, and one of your first things is to hire a business consultant or an admin or somebody to get your life, your business life organized as far as your files are concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and hide you, okay? And then I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let's see, share screen. Share screen, okay. And I'm going to share my entire screen. Okay. So how I work, and Scotty, can you hear me in the background? Okay, cool. So they can't hear you, but they can hear me. So how I work is, here's our project folder, okay? And every single video that we're doing has an agenda, okay? So we have an agenda here, and then as we finish those agendas, I move them over to this box, which they're ready to go into YouTube, okay? So today, this is going to move over here. Inside this little folder, I have the copy that I'm going to put on YouTube already created. So Scott and I have decided what today's conversation is going to be, and I've created some copy that I can put into YouTube that I can just copy and paste. So he and I have been collaborating on what we're going to be saying on each episode. And then I go into my YouTube channel, and we're going to get rid of all these. Get rid of this. I go into my, hang on a second, my YouTube channel, and I've created a playlist for the Video Lab, okay? So where is it? And so here's all the videos for the Video Lab. So this is so people can have a look at all of our series videos together. So I know that when I'm loading the video, I want to do a couple things when I'm loading it. So I'm going to create a video, and I'm going to upload a video, okay? And now I'm going to show you what my file structure looks like. So select a file, okay? And I'm just going to kind of go through. I have a file for my company. I have a file for Relentless Talk Radio. I have a file for my videos. I have a file for my weekly shows. And in here, what I've done is I've downloaded the video that we make on Be Live every week, and I've put it into a file. And so I'll just go ahead and search for Video Lab. Let's see, I think that's how I put it. Nope, let's see. Here's an example of a video that Scott and I did together. That was episode 65. Okay, I'm just going to grab it. So when I choose here, I'm loading that file. And then what it allows me to do is to put my title. And what I will do is copy and paste the verbiage that I created in my Trello. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. Here's the copy that, oops. Oh, I moved it already. Here's the copy that we created for this, okay? I'm going to pop it into here. So it's all done, right? And I'm going to rename this the Video Lab. Episode 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab a, I'm going to add it to the Relentless Talk Radio. Actually, this one is just the Video Lab playlist, right? And I'm going to go grab this is not made for kids. And I'm going to grab, sometimes I'm going to grab the thumbnail. And I won't go into how I make the thumbnail, but I have a process on how I make the thumbnail too. But I'll tell you Here's my file, Micalizzi Enterprises. Here's Relentless Talk Radio. This is my Be Live videos. Here's my YouTube thumbnails. Here's my regular, my special editions. This is the video lab. And then I grab hold of, oh shoot, okay. So you can't see the Finder. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing my file from my folder. That's a bummer that you couldn't see my file. So I'm grabbing a file that I save, you know, the same way by having a series of files that I know where I'm going, and then I hit next, right? So this is just a simple idea of, you know, and unfortunately, let's see if I can share screen. So let's see, can you see my folder now? Okay. Okay, hide. Let's see. Nope. I don't think it'll let us do it. Yep. So we learned something. It won't let me share my file folder, but we'll figure out a way to get that shared the next time. But at least verbally, you could hear me say. So what's happening is just this. You're not going to learn how to do what I just did by watching me quickly do it. But what I'm trying to, and Scotty is trying to kind of let you know, is that you want to, for sure, have a structure that you create that you can find your stuff. Now, how I create my structure and how Scotty creates his structure is completely different. And
Yes.
the big thing that we're driving home is that from the very beginning, when you're starting to shoot video, the first thing you should do is to figure out how you're going to save the videos that you're making in a file so you can find them later for later use. Because if you're really planning on using video to its fullest potential, you're going to want to start collecting nuggets of cool stuff. So just the first thing you need to do as a new business owner who's just starting video is to pick up your phone and start shooting stuff. Start shooting. If you're a pizza delivery guy, get your pizza delivery people to start shooting, you know, something cool that happens, a dog, something that happens, you know, a picture with a person you get their permission to take their picture of them getting their pizza, you know, a little video of you know, if you have two guys going out, have one guy shoot the other guy, you know, deliver the pizza to the door. If you're, you know, making the pizza, you know, grab the video, make a video of the guy in your pizza shop making the pizza, make a picture of the people walking out the door. Just make a tiny little sniglets of things that you think are compelling and just start saving them. And then either you're going to learn how to use a video production tool yourself, which there are some easy ones that Scotty and I are going to share with you, or you're going to hire someone like Scotty who's going to take all that great video that you've created on your phone and he's going to repurpose it into something that's really super cool for your business.
Yeah. It's like I said, what we talked about isn't all that sexy and it isn't always fun, but I think it is incredibly important to set yourself up on that foundation to just, even if it's like you don't even think about going into the depth of the folder trees that I have that, you know, that I showed, right? It could be as simple as just to start out, you have one folder and just dump everything in that one folder. Because at least, you know, in that one folder, you may have to, you know, scroll a little bit, but that's a start. Because then from there, as you do more and you start figuring out, okay, there's like, this isn't quite as efficient as I want it to be. And let me add another folder within this, like where I can put all my video assets.
Yeah, so if you're a pizza shop, you might say, okay, here's my video assets of inside the pizza shop making pizza. Here's my video assets of delivering pizza.
Exactly.
Right? And then maybe you pick up your phone and you just do a voice recording on your phone of something that is, you know, let's do an example right now. So if you, on my phone, and we're going a little bit over, but we'll end soon with a couple tools. But on my phone is this thing called, voice memos. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Right there. So I'm going to go here and say, hold I'm going to create a new one. I just hit the red button and I say, man, I am so glad that Scotty and I got together and talked about organization of files, because organizing my files made all the difference in the world. It's amazing. I can't believe I wasn't doing it before. So now when I go to this recording, man, I am so glad that Scotty and I got together and talked about organization of files, because right. So you could say something like, today was amazing. We delivered 342 pizzas to people while we were helping them to get through the COVID crisis. It was absolutely an amazing day. Sally was so excited because she got to help Mrs. Smith get her newspapers in from the driveway. Here's a video of Sally helping Mrs. Smith get her newspapers and a delicious pizza from us. So now you've got a video. Today was amazing. We delivered 342 pizzas to people. So later, when you're making a video where you're grabbing a bunch of stuff, you have a bunch of voice recordings right on your phone that you can say, okay, Scotty, I've got a month's worth of cool little soundbite voice recordings that you can use for an evergreen video. So just start to do those types of things and make voice recordings, write down thoughts in your notes, that just things that you can use for your video, and start to, this is how creative works. We have little files where we just jot stuff down. I am constantly got a little book with me all the time, and I like to get ones that have sayings on them where I'm just jotting down creative ideas. And so, you know, when you're making a video, just grab your phone, make whatever, talk into your voicemail, take some notes, and just put them somewhere where you can find them. So later, when you're ready to make a more complicated video, you've got all your stuff in one place.
Yeah, and if you're like me, you have an idea pop in your head, and if you don't write it down right then and there, it's gone. You'll never figure. Yeah, so it's you know, it's not as daunting as you may think it is. And that's one thing that we wanted to, especially with today, right, in terms of being able to give value out there to viewers, is this very simple, what may seem as a very boring thing. It's incredibly important to set yourself up for.
And it seems complicated when you're looking at Scotty and I's structure. Now, I've been in the creative industry for 30 years, and Scotty's been making videos for 12, right? So I've been organizing information for a long time. So it's super easy for me to like, okay, boop, 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 boop. This is how things should be organized, right? I've just been doing it for so long. Now for you, new business owner, just creating video, haven't ever organized anything, all you got to do is make one folder and dump all your stuff in there. So videos, sound bites, you know, things that you're talking about. Now, we wanted to share a couple apps before we get off. We're of course, a couple minutes over. We're at 38 minutes. So you had an app that you wanted to tell us about, which I think is super cool. So why don't we, it's called, go ahead and,
it's called Ripple. It's called Ripple. Yeah, so it's Ripple, RIPL, and you can find it. It's an app, a mobile app as well. You can find it in your app store on Google Play and the App Store. And what it does, it adds little motion to whether it's video you upload to it or a still image, and you can add text, and then it creates little simple transitions and animations to the photos and the text onto it. So think of it as like a lot of people out there know about Canva, right?
Canva is another app that does graphic design and gives you little templates that you can use. I use it all the time.
So think of it as Canva, but it adds a little bit of a motion animation to your pictures and text, you know, and it's just something nice that it creates a little bit of a more of a stimulation to a viewer's eye, and it catches their attention a little bit more. It's free. They also have like a paid version of it as well. So obviously the free version is going to be a little bit limited, but I used the free version on occasion, and it's good. It makes it, you know, it does the job, and it does it well, and it looks clean and professional. So that would be one thing that I would suggest.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a video of you and I talking about Ripple, and I'm going to make a little Ripple video, and I'm going to post it in the comments so people can see it. So I'm going to my phone, and I'm just grabbing video, and I'm saying, Hey guys, so Scotty Warren and I are talking about the application called Ripple. So
Yep.
it's RIPL.com today on the Video Lab. And I'm doing a little recording of my Be Live studio while we do that. And I'm going to do a little example of Ripple. So Scotty, why is Ripple so cool?
Well, I think it's very user friendly as the biggest thing. And so you don't have to have a ton of video experience to really use it. You can easily figure it out and create some nice professional looking content pieces.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there's a 30-second video. I'm going to create a little Ripple. And I've never used Ripple before, by the way. So I'm going to go create a little Ripple video and put it in the comments below on this video.
Cool. That's awesome.
And then you had another tool. It was called Unsplash.com. I am like so excited about this one because I'm constantly looking for images and images that I don't have a copyright issue with.
Yeah,
for
that right there is a huge hurdle for content creators and people, looking for images to put in their blogs and use images for paid advertisements and stuff like that. So Unsplash.com, it's a global community of professional, amateur, hobbyist photographers that you can upload your images to this website, and it's basically free high resolution images with no Creative Commons, handcuffs. It's all attribute free, and they just ask you if you do download it. They do ask you like, hey, if you don't mind attributing the photographer who shared this to give them some exposure, but it's not like you don't have to. They just ask you.
I love this site on so many levels. It's so smart. So photographers, okay, my undergraduate, I don't know if you know this about me or not, my undergraduate is in fine art with a concentration in photography. So there's so many photographers out there. And now that everybody can take great photographs on their phone, even more so, right?
Yeah.
So this is a really great way to support artists who happen to be photographers to build their business. So when you use a photograph, I'm definitely going to say, dude, give the photographer credit. It's not going to hurt you nothing. And it actually makes you look more professional. So if you notice on all of my little cover photos for Relentless Talk Radio, I always say cover shot of Michelle Micalizzi done by photos by Jim, Elena and Jim, because they're my photographers and I want them to get the credit. So you go grab a photograph. These are really awesome photographs, and you use it for your social media, for your video, for your pamphlets, for your flyers, anything you need a visual for. You can just put in fitness images and a bunch of really cool, awesome, very creative, very rich and pungent images come up. You grab those images, and whatever you're doing on social media and in your life, you just put a little photo credit like a grown-up does, like the media does, and say photo by Jillian Millam, who's another one of the folks that I use for my photography real life. So that's a really awesome thing. So Ripple, RIPL.com is the first thing for video production, social media images especially, and Unsplash.com is a free photo thing. So holy crap, it's 43 minutes. We might have to change our thing to 45 minutes. I mean, we've tried.
We've been pretty consistently going over.
And we might have to make it a little bit longer. But, hey, that's cool. So next week, we're going to be talking about the types of promotional videos that you can make for your small businesses, and we're going to give you some nuggets of information there. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you can go to meetwithmick.com and you can make an appointment to have a consultation with Scotty and I. You just look for the Video Lab appointment, and we will give you a free 40 to 20 minute consultation time to be able to say, hey, this is stuff you can do on your own. Here's what you should go do. Go do it. Give us a call in a couple of weeks and see and tell us how it went. Or you know what? You might want to hire Relentless Video and Scotty Yang to do some video production for you to kind of get this off your plate. So you just go to meetwithmic.com and you choose the Video Lab.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt just to have the conversation because there's my biggest thing is I want to be able to give value back to the folks out there. And so, sometimes you just need to talk through with someone, professional, to kind of figure out what your pathway is and what you need to do. Or maybe it's something that you want to see, like, I'm not quite sure where video fits into my marketing strategy. Well, let's talk through that. Let me help you figure some of that out. And then that way you can make the decisions of which way you want to go from there.
Well, 100%. And we're shooting this video out to small business owners who right now during COVID especially, your budget is like less than zero. You're running on fumes at this point. So make the consultation. Let's make a plan to get you putting information into a file that we can repurpose later potentially, or let's see how we can help you to get rolling. And then, maybe you do have a little bit of a budget now for video and you know that it's really important to get your message out. We can definitely help you in an affordable way. Scotty and I have put together a couple packages that are super affordable and built to help people, especially during the COVID crisis situation. So, all right, guys, we're at 45 minutes. We might have to change the time for this to 45 minutes, I think, Scotty. I think we probably do. All right, guys, come back next week.
Yeah.
Relentless Talk Radio. Watch replays on youtube.relentlesstalkradio.com, and we will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.